apply mindfulness to the mind. That is, observing any thoughts, emotions, memories or images arising in the mind. And are any of these in the nature of happiness? And now applying mindfulness to all phenomena. So therefore, whatever is appearing to the mind, sensory or mental, is there anything at all there that is in the nature of happiness? questions or comments before we go on to this evening's topic?
I found the nature of the happiness.
You did?
Yes.
Good. Right.
It's not in the body.
It's not in the body?
Not in anything. It's like understood that it's nowhere. It's on the. I'm laughing, but it's in the space of the mind.
Space of the
In
mind.
the awareness, the quiet.
Quiet.
The nothing.
Quiet. So there's no appearance is in the nature of happiness.
No what?
Appearance,
No.
physical or mental. So there's no happiness there.
No.
Good.
It's like in the state of the mind. That's what I realized.
But is that how we instinctively behave?
Of course not.
Right. Very
It's a big, and I knew it, but now I felt it. Like I released all the looking for happiness. I didn't want to look anymore at the feelings. I just left it and I want.
I think again I had a problem with the difference between feelings and mind.
Yeah. So in this particular case, there's not really a difference. I mean, actually, feelings here, we could either stick here or here. But in these 4 applications of mindfulness, remember we're coming to a number of different insights. And what we'll see also tomorrow is that these feelings get special attention because they cause problems. Because it's the pleasant ones that we have attachment and the unpleasant we have aversion. So what we'll see also is in terms of when we talk about the basis of the person, we can say just body-mind, yeah? Body-mind. But what you normally find in the description, you have what's called the 5 aggregates. And what the 5 aggregates, which means the 5 heaps, the 5 parts, and one of them is this. But of course it belongs to the mind. But they take it out separately and say, look, pay attention here, because this gets you into trouble. So, particularly for this practice we just did, I mean, you could really, the physical ones, you could just stick here, and the mental ones stick here, and then you could just do body-mind, sure. Yeah.
And I had a bit of difficulty with pleasant experience. To see something as a pleasant experience, I really forced myself to...
You never have pleasant experiences?
I did. It's just like memories.
Good, that's fine. You can, for this practice, if you specifically want to look at pleasant things, just bring to mind a pleasant memory, sure.
But then I created it.
But it was a pleasant experience that you're remembering.
Yes.
So it's a valid thing. It's a pleasant memory. It's not like seeing an elephant in this room. So it's a valid memory.
I think that what I don't quite understand, in the other meditations we just let things come up. We
Sure. And
generate
in this,
them, and now I felt like I was generating it to say, oh, it's a pleasant experience.
because we were looking specifically for pleasant. But what you could do, of course, is just do that practice and wait for something pleasant. If it doesn't come, okay, it doesn't come. But you can generate it. I mean, this is a very specific thing, the pleasant one. Whereas the others, the impermanence, it's everything. So, yeah.
This time, in the present, unpleasant, I didn't get stuck them on my body.
You didn't get
I didn't stuck the feelings, the emotions, the unpleasant, pleasant nature in my body. They go out. Like they go out from me. You understand what I mean?
So you have pleasant, unpleasant feelings in the body?
I have a bad feeling.
It wasn't stuck.
It wasn't stuck?
It didn't stuck in my body or stuck in somewhere.
Good.
They go out.
Good.
They go out. Also the pleasant.
Good.
Usually, I argue with them, I fight with them, I go to sleep with them.
Good. Because again, in this practice, we're just looking at them, aren't we? But on the basis of the question. So therefore, we're just looking at them. We're not trying to do anything with them as we normally do. If it's pleasant, we try and hold it. If it's unpleasant, we try and push it. Here, we're just watching them with a question. So yeah, good, very good.
I'm not sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's kind of hard to put that into a question because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. But I'm watching the body and then I'm trying to find something pleasant.
No, not find something. If something pleasant comes, is it in the nature of happening? If nothing pleasant comes, then nothing pleasant comes. But I mean, this meditation is not just about pleasant, but for this specific meditation, we were just focusing here. So, I mean, you can focus here, but this is a little bit more difficult for a beginner. So we narrowed, because the insight is dukkha, but what we did was in that meditation, we just looked at one part of it. One that really gets us a lot into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that I didn't find it anywhere until, like, my other people said I generated it. So
Well, that's okay. If you generate it because it's a valid experience, then you look at it.
yeah, but then it's just the mind, so it's like 4 minutes. Or, like the rest of the time.
Yeah, well then for this one, for this one then, just look in the mind. And if you don't bring up pleasant memories. Because, I mean, what do people often do is they live in the past, don't they? Because they're not happy in the present. So they go off into the past and try and remember all these nice experiences and go, oh, that was so nice, that holiday last year. So yeah, do that. Look at that.
So it's the same problem with impermanence. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to look at. Like, I have a thought and then it passes. Obviously it passes, but I don't understand what's the difference between just looking at the mind and looking at the mind for impermanence.
The difference is there's a question behind it. Like, if I told you to look at everyone in this room, you could look and see, right? But then I asked you the same thing, but on the basis of the question is Leora in this room. And you did exactly the same thing, you looked, you'd have an insight, wouldn't you? You'd have an insight, there she is. Or, no, she's not here. But it's the same thing, you just looked. But there was a question behind. That's Vipashyana. No question, Shamatha.
Okay, thank you.
Mostly with the previous meditation, I felt quite frustrated because I felt, first of all, our equipment is coming back to that. If our equipment is faulty to begin with, then there's no purpose in doing it. I mean,
Well, if it's completely broken, yes. If it's sort of half working, then we can do it because we may get something from it.
well, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm a scientist and I'm doing an experiment with equipment that won't give me a very good answer.
Yeah, but you don't know that when you first start. You have equipment there, you think this is working, you run the experiment, and then you have to fine tune it, don't you?
No, but I know now.
Right, but see, the thing is that if you don't run the experiment and you wait till you have equipment that's 100% perfect, you'll never run the experiment. And running the experiment with equipment that sort of works will already start to have an effect. How so? Here. You know, you can have a little insight. And that, it can be quite strong, no?
It's not
Do you have to have shamatha to have an insight? No.
In the way we did the other one, especially because I felt that we are looking for some impermanence, and that's something that very hard to see.
Correct, but like my example, the knee. If we're just looking superficially, solid pain. In your scan, I said if there's something strong, weights up there. If you looked closely, did it stay exactly the same, or did it sort of shift a little bit? If you're paying very close attention.
Well, I'll have to look at it
Yeah.
again.
But I suspect that even if the equipment of the mind is not functioning very well, if you have a strong pain, singular solid pain, and you stay there, you look closely, I would expect that would change quite a lot. It wouldn't be a single solid one. You'd probably start to notice a lot of things going on there. And already that is very helpful.
Okay, because that brings me to the second issue that I feel like I set on this question without setting the parameters or the question, or more precisely, I didn't define a very good what is change and what I'm looking for. That's what I'm saying.
In the one we just did?
No, in the previous one. It's mostly with the previous.
Ah.
This one was a bit more
Okay,
good.
sure.
I understood it better. When I was looking for a change, then it was subtle change, but I didn't know what exactly to expect. And I didn't know if change doesn't mean, should it change moment by moment, like second by second, or minute by minute, or millisecond by millisecond?
Exactly. So, but that's what we need to. We're not trying to figure it out. We're trying to see which of those is it. We're just looking. So again, if we use the knee example, if you're not really focusing, it'll seem like there's a single solid pain there.
Right.
That's not really changing. It's solid. It's there. But then if we start to look closely, you may notice that actually there seems to be a bit of change going on there. Maybe after a few seconds, somehow something shifted a bit. And then after another few seconds, it's somehow a little bit different, maybe marginal. But if you keep looking closely, you may notice actually it seems like there's change going on there in every second. And then if you keep looking very closely, you'll notice, wow, there's just like lots of change happening in every second. But we need clear mind to do that. That's why we need to keep fine-tuning the equipment. But even if our equipment of the mind is not very functional, and we look at that single solid pain, we may see actually there's some things going on there, change going on. And already that will reduce our suffering somewhat. Somewhat. Because it won't seem so intense and solid and enduring. It'll be more bearable. Because there's some shift and change happening. And if you keep doing that, like my experience in the Vipassana, and if someone told me before that was the case, I would have said, no way. Single solid pain. I'm suffering major here. No one would have been able to convince me. Because I've never seen that before. Yeah. And it's only when I saw that, and I went, wow. Really? It was just like this thousands of intense sensations, non-stop, and it wasn't overwhelming me. It was signalling there was something to attend to, but in some way it was nearly even pleasant. It was intense, but as long as I had that good mindfulness, I could sit there, I wasn't suffering at all. As soon as my mindfulness went, it was like overwhelming suffering, overwhelming. So that the degree to your equipment is working, to that degree you will reduce your suffering. So it's not like you have to have perfect equipment to have any positive effect. So I would suggest work on the equipment, but then start working on this, because you'll start to have some positive benefit. And the more positive benefit you have, the more that will help you to refine the equipment. They'll sort of feed each other.
So it's if I'm in conversation with people, and my graph of the graph, of the equipment.
Chart, graph.
You know,
Your equipment.
you said to him equipment
Right,
that measure the pain.
right.
So I am convention, the Sikha, the congregation, the graph of the scale go up.
What scale? Of
Of pain.
pain, of suffering.
Of the nerve. Go up. Go up. I need to say to myself,
Okay.
if I say to myself, pleasant, no pleasant, natural, I can walk like this.
Yeah, I mean, using that analogy, if you're in conversation with someone and you saw things as they were, that scale going up to suffering wouldn't move, it'd stay there. I mean, now, of course, we don't see things clearly. That to the extent we don't see things clearly, that to that extent that will go up.
So I need to.
So if you do this sort of practice, it will go up less. Means you'll have less suffering.
Before I speak, I need to say pleasant, unpleasant, natural. If you, by your system, in mindfulness, I need to look at him from the beginning. As a pleasant, unpleasant.
Well, no, you just need to.
natural.
Yeah, I mean, but you just need to see things as they really are. That's all. I mean, that's what all this is about. Yeah, exactly.
Really are, not to.
Perfect. Very good.
I had the last meditation and here, I still have the pain here.
Yeah.
So I looked closely and closely and it was burning and I couldn't take it anymore. And I invited, I was very nice with it. I accepted it, really. And I was sweating, I died. And now on the next one, I didn't want to do it because I was afraid. You told her, look at the pleasant feeling. I came to the meditation. I don't have any pleasant feelings. I'm suffering, and I'm asking myself that I realize that why to get into the pain? Why not to open, and release it, and to open. That's what I did now. Instead of looking closely to the pain, to the feelings, I release it and I open my, like what we did in Shamatha. And I wanted to do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Why to suffer?
Exactly. I mean, we create the suffering, no?
No, but to look, it didn't pass.
No, but see, when we say look, we do this.
That's it.
Yeah. To look, we need to do this.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So look is to do this.
That's why
Because
the other day.
Look.
That's why the other day we were working on resting in awareness so that we could be like that when we look. Because if we're like this, then we're reacting, we're interpreting. Like if I was to do that with my knee, it would like be. But because my mind was more mindful, it was like this, and then when I came here, and then no pain, no suffering.
So you bring your perspective, whatever, to
This is why
your eyes
relaxation.
get bigger. You go backwards to see it, so it's getting smaller.
Backwards. I mean,
Wider.
I mean,
Wider.
when I was at my knee, I wasn't distant from the sensations. I mean, I saw them as closely as I've ever done, but not like this. But my experience of the sensations, was so clear and sharp. You can't do that from a distance, but you can do it with an open mind.
Open mind, that's it.
Yeah. So we're not we're not going away,
Exactly. That's what I meant, open mind.
but we're opening the mind, because if we're away, you won't see anything.
Because I look so closely, so I was maybe tense.
Yeah, in fact, that's what we do. When we look closely, we do this, don't we? So if you do that, you're going to react.
Okay.
You're going to react.
I'm a bit confused about the happiness meditation.
Yeah?
I am pleasant things.
Good.
It's nice and things.
Sure.
They are in the basis of happiness. I was kind of
They are what?
in the nature of.
They are?
I think.
Really? So if you had that experience, one of your experiences that you had a pleasant experience, if you were to have that experience non-stop for an hour, would it be equally pleasant after an hour?